Hey, welcome to Vance. Tried it. Today, we're going to be making an enchilada pie. Now, when I grew up in the 1970s in a Midwest small town, and we did not eat ethnic food. They didn't eat Mexican food. There were no tacos, no burritos. We didn't eat Italian food. We had meat and potatoes and vegetable, and that's what we ate. I remember the first time I was about 10 years old, there's this new restaurant called Taco Bell. Went there for the first time and ate tacos and fell in love with Mexican food. I also love a good casserole, and that's really what a good enchilada pie is. It is a Mexican casserole. So we're going to start off today. We're going to take 1 pound of ground beef, and I'm using 90% here. And I have my skillet already heated up a little bit. Let's throw that in there. Now, with that, right as it goes in, I'm going to put in 1 small onion. And also, I'm going to go ahead and put in, a couple of teaspoons of garlic paste here. Or you could use fresh garlic. This is just so easy to use. That's what I usually use. But you do whatever makes you feel happy. And then we're just going to go ahead and brown this all up together. Now, a lot of people are afraid to put in the garlic this early. They're afraid it's going to burn. And here's the reality. If you're putting it in with all this other stuff, with the onion and the hamburger, and you're mixing it all up really well together, that garlic is not going to start to burn. It's really going to just cook down the same as all the other stuff. So I just go ahead and put it in same time I put everything else in here together. Okay, while this is browning up, we're going to do something else right over here. We're going to take this bowl. We're going to take 1 regular size can, I think it's like 14.5 ounces of refried beans. And I have 1 large, I think it's 20 ounces of enchilada sauce. So I'm going to take that. Let me squash this refried beans down just a little bit. Now I'm going to pour about 1/3 of this enchilada sauce in here, because I'm really wanting to soften up these refried beans. As I'm putting them in there on top of other stuff, if you leave them just straight up, then you're really going to start to make a mess with them, because they will tear around and tear up your other stuff, which you don't want. So by putting the enchilada sauce right in here, it not only adds a little bit of flavor to it, but it also goes ahead and just makes them nice and soft and way easier to spread in there. And that's all the longer. We're going to set that back off to the side and see how our hamburger is going. And it's going along. So I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and brown up this hamburger, and then I'll get back to you when it's nice and browned up. But hey, while I'm doing that, would you please go ahead and go down in the comment section. Leave me a comment. What is the first time that you remember having something that you had never had before, that it's hard for you to imagine that other people today just don't grow up with? Did you have one of those Taco Bell moments? If so, let me know down in the comments. And while you're down there, would you please go ahead and like this video? And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe, ring that bell, so you get notified every time I publish a new video. I'll get back to you in just a few minutes when this is all browned up. Okay, so our meat is browned up and our onions are starting to soften up, and this is such a beautiful aroma coming out here with that meat and that onion and that garlic. the kitchen is already starting to smell delicious. But to this, I'm going to add 1 can of diced tomatoes and 1 10-ounce package of corn. This is frozen corn. You could use certainly canned corn if you wanted to, but I think that frozen corn has way less preservatives in it, and so I just like to be able to regulate that as much as I can. And make sure I get all this good. This is the diced green chilies right here. And then I have here 2 tablespoons of enchilada seasoning. Now look, here's the thing. You can buy enchilada seasoning at the store, but I have never found one that I really liked. Maybe you have, but I haven't. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying I haven't found it. So I make my own enchilada seasoning. And so I'm not going to tell you everything that's in there because I'll forget something. But what I will do is I will put the recipe for this enchilada seasoning right down in the description so that you can be making your own enchilada seasoning if that's something that interests you. And so what we're going to do now is, since this is all combined together, we're just going to leave it on a medium-low. We're going to cover it up, and we're going to let this simmer for about 10 minutes. And so I'll get back to you when this is done simmering. Okay, so we have let our meat mixture simmer on the stove here for about 10 minutes, and we're ready to start putting this enchilada pie together. So we're going to start off with some corn tortillas that I have quartered up, and I'm just going to line the bottom of my Dutch oven here with some of these. And we don't have to get, and you're not going to get a perfect overlay on here, and that's okay. So we're going to put that on there, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put some of our meat mixture in here. We're just going to spread it out over the top of it here. Just like that. Now we're going to take some of our refried beans. And this is right here why we combined that enchilada sauce in here so that we can get this spread out over here. And now what I have here in this bowl is I have 1 pound of cheese. I have 8 ounces of it's pepper jack and 8 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese. And so we're just going to put some of that right down over there. Just like that. And now we're going to pour about 1/3 of our remaining enchilada sauce over there. And we're just going to repeat this. So we're going to put some more of these corn tortillas in here. Now, these corn tortillas are going to soak up a lot of this stuff. So what I like to do is when I put that next layer of tortillas on there, I go ahead and just kind of give it a good press down. Let that just get tight in there and just make sure that that liquid is going to soak right up into all of that tortilla. And now we're just going to put the rest of our meat mixture in here. just like that. And now we're going to put the rest of our refried beans in there. Just like that. Put some more cheese on here. And some more of this enchilada sauce. I'm going to leave just a little bit in the can here. Because now we're going to do one more layer of our corn tortillas. And I'm just going to use up all that I have here. And it's going to be just a little bit thicker bit of corn tortilla, and that's all right. That'll be good. And now press this down just like we did the last layer. I did lightly grease this Dutch oven with some avocado oil before I started putting this in here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the last of our cheese, just like that, and the very last of our enchilada sauce, just like that. And we're going to put our lid on our Dutch oven. I have my oven heated up to 400 degrees, and we're going to put this in the oven for about 40 minutes. We're going to let that all soak up together and let that all cook up really well. And we'll get back to you when it is out of the oven and cooled off so we can give it a good taste. Okay, so we have our enchilada pie all cooked up and cooled off just a little bit. Now we're going to find out just how good a job I can do at getting this out of here and not completely tearing it up. Not too bad. Just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get me just a little bit of lettuce, put on there, and some tomato, just like that. And then grab me some paste picante sauce. Now I just recently ran out of my own homemade salsa, so we're going to be using paste. And then we just grab with a fork and dig in. Here we go. Oh, this is so good. Cheesy, meaty. The corn really just kind of sets it off. Just gives it that added texture and that added flavor. And I'm telling you, if you're going to use an enchilada seasoning, use my homemade enchilada seasoning. Like I said, I'm going to put that down in the description along with the rest of this recipe. Look, this is a great meal. It's super easy to make and delicious. And bottom line is, I tried it. You should too.